All right, guys. So when we start talking about two-step inequality word problems, what we're really doing is looking for those key words, underlining our key statements, and trying to figure out what our inequality sign is going to be. So when I look at this, all right, number one says, a popular R&B band recently purchased a successful three-city tour where they played at least, there's a keyword, at least 120,000 people. If they had an audience of 45,000 in Mesa, another 33,000 in Denver, how many people attended their show in Las Vegas? Well, we know that there were three cities. So we had a total of 120,000 people. So that's a total at the concerts. It says that there were at least, well, in our notes down below, we know at least means greater than or equal to. So we have, got a zero in there, at least 120,000 people there. In the three cities where they toured, there were 45,000 people at one concert. There were 33,000 people at another concert, and we need to figure out how many were at that third concert. We're going to combine our like terms. Well, I know over here, 45,000 plus 33,000 is going to give me 78,000. Plus the number of people at that other concert has to be greater than or equal to 120,000. To get X by ourselves, to figure out how many people were at that concert, we're going to subtract 78,000 on both sides. I know X has to be greater than or equal to 42,000 people at that concert. So there were over 42,000 people at Las Vegas. So again, for a review from one-step inequality word problems, all right, you're going to want to know all of these words and what they're associated with for our word problems. Let's look at number one. It says Mason has $25, that sounds important, to spend at a carnival. If the admission to the carnival is $4, remember, admission means how much it costs to get in, and the rides are $1.50 each sounds like a key word. What is the greatest, here's our unknown, number of carnival rides Mason can go on? Well, greatest number means the most he can go on, right, to spend that $25. The greatest, all right, or at most, the greatest number is less than or equal to. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my less than or equal to sign. Well, the maximum amount of money Mason can spend is $25. I know he spends $4 on admissions and he pays $1.50 per ride. Well, remember, $1.50 per ride. We don't know how many rides he goes on. So that means it's going to be 150x. Because remember, if he goes on one ride, it's $1.50. Two rides, he spent $3. What we're really doing is taking $1.50 and multiplying it by the number of rides he goes on. So at this point, I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. I get 150x is less than or equal to 21. To get x by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 150. And I get x is less than or equal to 14. Which means he can go on 14 rides or less. So at most, 14 rides with that $25. Example 2, the 7th grade class is putting on a variety show to raise money. It costs $700 to rent the banquet hall they're going to use. If they charge $15 for each ticket, there's that key word, each. Remember, each or per usually says multiplication. How many tickets, here's what we don't know, do they need to sell in order to raise at least $1,000? Well, we know their goal is to make $1,000. And they want at least, up above, at least means greater than or equal to. They spend $700 at the banquet to rent that banquet hall, and they're going to charge $15 per ticket. So let X be the number of tickets they need to sell. To solve, I'm going to subtract 700 on both sides. So I get 15x is greater than or equal to 300. And then we're going to divide both sides by 15. I'm going to get x is greater than or equal to 20. So they need to sell at least 20 tickets to reach their goal. All right, we're up above here. X, we forgot to write let x equals. X is the number of rides they can go on. All right, number 3 down below says Brandon has $250. DVDs are $20 each. How many DVDs can he buy and still have at least $50 left? Well, again, at least, that means we want him to have more than or equal to $50 when he is done. If you're spending money, is that plus or minus from your bank account? Well, I know that's going to be negative 20x. You're spending $20 per DVD. So X is the number of DVDs. And we learned earlier this year when it says how many or what is or at what point, all those questions kind of hint to you what X is going to represent. So X is the number of DVDs. So we spend $20 per DVD, and he currently has $250 in his bank account. Now we need to solve. I'm going to start by subtracting 250 from both sides. So I get negative 20x is greater than or equal to, when I subtract 250 on both sides, you're going to get negative 200. To solve, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 20. Remember, when we divide by a negative, I need to flip my sign. So I get x is less than or equal to 10. What does that mean? Well, I know he could buy 10 or less DVDs. All right. Down below says 6 more than twice a number is at least 30. Well, let's think about that. Twice a number. Let's let x be that number. So how do I say twice a number? Well, 2x. And then how do I say 6 more than that? Well, plus 6 is at least, that means greater than or equal to 30. Let's go ahead and solve. Subtract 6 on both sides. We get 2x is greater than or equal to 24. Divide both sides by 2, so we know x has to be greater than or equal to 12. If this is 12, 13, 14, my circle is closed, going to the right. So when you see the word inequality, guys, that's always looking for your variable, your inequality symbol, and then your number. All right. For number 5, it says 4 less than 5 times a number is at most negative 14. I always like to start with multiplication. 5 times a number. Let's say that's x. Okay, so it says 4 less than. Well, that means 5x minus 4, because it's 4 less than this number here. Is at most, all right, well, at most means less than or equal to negative 14. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and solve this one. When you're done, we're going to go ahead and do our homework for this lesson, and then we're going to work on our study guide. Again, our test is going to be next week. So today and tomorrow, we're going to be working on word problems like this, and then we will have our test next week. Your study guide is due on Monday, all right? If you need help, be sure to come see me in study hall or come to the whiteboard table, and I would be happy to help you today.